But I think that goes to my next point of, I think a lot of times we are, again, looking for the next step. Like, I'm here in Nashville. Okay, what am I doing next? And it's really hard to think about, again, living in the present, especially if you're single and you're not exactly in a quote unquote vocation yet. You can live that singleness as a vocation. And what does that mean? What does that mean? How you're spending your time? All of that. So it's just something I think about because, I mean, I am in that state of life. So, but what comes to mind for me is what I'm trying to do lately is just, I don't know, give that time to others, whatever that means. So volunteering or I don't know, you name it. And I'm working towards that. It's a work in progress, but something to think about.
Yeah, we talked about that before this. It's like about becoming a gift.
Exactly.
Like the meaning of my existence is not for myself and what I can get. It's to love, which is to become a gift to others. That's okay. Marriage, vowed state of consecrated or celibacy. Okay, that is a permanent, irrevocable gift of self. But as single, and we're all single, I'm called to become a gift of love. That is with whether my roommates, whether my family, friends, work, and then also even like what you said, it's like, okay, I have my work schedule, say 9 to 5.
Right.
Okay, I have a whole lot of more time. How can I prioritize that time where I'm also becoming a gift? Whether that's, you were talking about you've served, with the homeless.
Yeah.
Or whether that's just even your friend community or church, whatever. It's like, no, I'm called to be a gift here and now in the present moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How do you guys think that we move into that place from I'm acting in a place of I want to just receive something and I just want to be able to get something out of an experience as to I want to be a gift for others? Because St. Francis has a prayer and in it says, in giving is when we receive.
Exactly.
So how do we switch that around from a place of, I want to do X, Y, Z so then I can receive whatever versus I want to live for others and give myself?
I think it takes a sense of letting go because a lot of times we do things, we're like, okay, what can I get out of this? Rather than how can I help someone else? So I think it's just shifting your mindset and just trusting the Lord to kind of work through you. And it's like almost a surrendering type thing. So, I don't know. It's tough. It requires a shift of mindset for sure. I'll have to think on that, Snakes.
Yeah. Well, you almost have to experience it too because it's hard to just start to transition into that way of thinking or acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you are receiving, and your mind goes to, what am I losing if I do give of myself in this way? But I think once we do let go, it is an abundance of grace that we feel and just continuing to want to do more. But yeah, it is in giving that we receive.
Amen.
Stand by that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, and I don't know if you guys can speak into this or even have any stories, but like I can attest in my life when whether that's escaping through just media and I'm on 2 hours later or Netflix binge 2 hours later. And then I'm like, well, that sucked. Right. Like versus getting out of myself, becoming a gift of myself to the world, like living in the world, whether that's, meeting people face to face rather than flipping through.
Right.
It's way more fulfilling. It's way more satisfying,
No, I agree. I think, again, we have to be strategic with our time. So a lot of times we're like, we want to unwind. We want to go to the binging and the social media type thing. But I think when we do take a step back, we might have to be strategic in how we plan out things. For me, travel is huge, and just kind of spending time with other people and that quality time is huge. And a story that comes to mind is recently, well, not too recent, but last November, I went to Peru. And so obviously limited phone. It was turned into more of an excursion rather than like a vacation type trip. And I was like, oh my goodness. But you're living in the present moment. There were people from all over the world that we encountered, and just being able to speak with them and hear about their lives and share our faith and different things like that. Like, you're so present with those people. It just made such a difference. And I just feel like travel is just one of those things that, I don't know, it's such a great way to encounter people in the present moment and be able to have good quality conversations, especially when your phone has no service. So you don't really have a choice.
You're almost forced into it. Like there's
Yeah.
a spontaneity with traveling or mission trips, whatever you want to say, because you don't know what your plans are or what you're going to be doing. So you're almost forced into it. And I agree with what you're saying with that, because like mission trips, for instance, why they're so fruitful, I think a part of it's because we don't have as much control.
Right.
It's like, how could we almost bring that, I guess, is my initial question and thought to myself. How can I, in like the day-to-day or even just living in Nashville in the same routine, same week in and out, how can I then adapt that?
And it was, so I went on a mission trip to Calcutta, India, and for a month. And I got there, and it was this idea of, okay, no phones, really. But it was also dirt poor, like they're burning smoke. I mean, smoke's going up, animals are walking everywhere, and it's like I go there and it's like, this is hell. Like, this is hell. Like, I don't want to be here. I flew in sick, and I like was puking. It was the worst day of my life.
TMI, Brendan.
Yeah. No, honestly, like I literally wrote in my journal, last night was the worst night of my whole life, because I was so sick, jet lagged after 20 hours flying. It was bad. And then I go and encounter, the phone's gone. Okay, I'm here with people, and I'm serving the poor, and I'm looking at children on the road laying down on cardboard boxes with their family, babies. And then we go and we clean men who are blind, who have lost limbs, and we're just feeding them. And it's like, okay, when you feed someone, you're sitting with them for 15, 30 minutes and slowly letting them eat. It's like you're in the present. And for me, I was encountering reality anew.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then at the end of the trip, it was like, this is heaven, even in the midst of the craziness and the poverty. And I think, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, I think it was just, I was going back to living in the present moment, purity of my intentions, serving others, being a gift, and it was a taste of heaven. It's like, wow. And then I come back here, and then all of a sudden now the TV's on, and
So I think for people here, like we're here in Nashville, right? Instead of going halfway across the world, we can encounter similar experiences like that. And I think a lot of times as young people are like, okay, but I don't want to plan it, or I don't know where to find this kind of stuff. And that's why our community is so important, because we do have people that will plan these events. Matthew McCloskey here in Nashville is great with putting on volunteer events. So he makes it really easy to kind of go and do similar things like that. It's not as extravagant as going to work with the nuns in Calcutta, but you get that moment of like, I made a difference in someone's life. And so Nashville Rescue Mission is a little close to downtown. And we went there a couple weeks ago, and just all we did was serve the homeless lunch. But we had that one encounter where I slide them the tray and said, have a great day. It just made, just seeing someone smile, it was small, but it just made a huge difference in knowing that we're there and helping out with a great mission, that sort of thing. So I think just realizing that we could have these extreme experiences, but we can also have them in our community as well.
So when I was in Calcutta, there was a guy who literally said, like, I was telling him, this is when I'm seeing them smile, this is a taste of heaven. This is beautiful. Like, this is, wow. And he was like, dude, like, I don't even care about this. Like, sucks for them. Like, I just want to get my service hours and out.
Right.
And so what do you think is a hindrance of people allowing themselves to live in the present moment?
Right.
And then maybe even like, why should we want to live in the present moment? I don't know.
Yeah, Sneaks, that's a good question for you.
I was just going to say the same to you.
I mean, where my mind goes, where your heart is at and what your intention is behind it. So I think if you are really trying to like see the Lord in other people and see them as God's creation, it changes your whole perspective on things. And sometimes I have to ask myself, I'm like, Lord, I want to see things how you see it, because it's so different from how I see it. And I don't know, and just give me the words to speak as well. So I think just asking the Lord to give you that, I think we forget that we can ask for these things.
That's honestly, that's my initial thought is what you just said to a degree, is that it takes God. So I think people have to have an openness to what God wants to do in their life. And say they maybe, you know, that guy, I don't know his name, who you were referencing. He may have went to that. We probably don't need to know his name, but he probably possibly went into that experience, like you're saying, with the intention of, I just need to get my hours in. Whereas you went in as, this is a mission trip. This is a chance for me to encounter God. Probably the only reason I said yes to it is because I have encountered God. And so it takes openness to, okay, there's something, because it doesn't make any sense for the most part. I mean, you can make an argument for a person to go serve the less fortunate or poor without an understanding of God and the goodness, and you know what this podcast and Humanum seeks to do is recognizing the inherent goodness in worth that we have as human beings.
And even like what you guys mentioned earlier, like it's better to give, you know, or I think just Jesus say that it's better to give than to receive. But then we also talk about in giving and receiving.
Probably.
Who knows? No, but it sounds right. Like for me, it's like, go try it out.
Right.
And it is better. Like making someone, I made Father Poggi breakfast this morning.
And he probably felt like $1 million.
And it felt good. Yeah, I think he liked it. Tasted good, you know. Some peaches and some scrambled. Yeah, scrambled. No, I thought it was pretty good. But let's like go out and do something for others. Go mow someone's lawn. I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying though. It's like you have the opportunity, like if you have roommates, to serve them. If you have a family, to serve the people within your own home, and it kind of starts there and then transcends from there.